welcome to my channel. My name is Liz, and this is my finished coloring pages for the month of April. I think I had one page that I did finish at the end of March, but I went ahead and just counted it for this month because it was like basically April, I think, when I did finish it finally. But I'm actually excited that I have a video for y'all. It's been a good minute since I have had enough finished pages to share with y'all. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think the last finished pages video I did was like 5 months ago. So it's been a bit of a, you know, not so much coloring going on, but just something kind of clicked, and you know, I got to getting some of it done, and I'm couldn't be more happy. So I guess we'll clear this off and we'll get started. The first book I am going to share with y'all, and this isn't in any particular order, it's just randomly how I piled them up beside me here. But this is a book, it's one of my favorites of Christine Caron's, I think. It is Fairy and Fantasy Grayscale Coloring Book number 5. And this was a very long-standing WIP I had, and I finally finished it. There's just something about finishing those long works in progress that just adds that bit of extra like sense of accomplishment, and I was so excited to get this one done. I will say that the thing that I guess probably made me hesitate for a long time was the animals, but you know, I just told myself like, don't overthink it, you know, just put the color down. And the Christine Caron Grayscale books are so much help when I feel a little bit, you know, I don't want to say afraid because that's a strong word, but nervous about starting something that I haven't done much of, like animal fur and feathers and stuff. So it's just a good helping hand, because I don't know if there's any more animals. But, you know, just for example, with the portraits, you can really tell where the features of the face are, and how the light settles around the contours of the face. And that's what really helped me learn a lot with like doing portraits and stuff. I don't know if the background is my favorite. It was one of my very few attempts with the watercolors, but I wanted to create, because you know, Christine Caron's backgrounds are very much watercolored, you know, subtle and beautiful, and I don't think mine's very subtle. It's very much bright colors. I started with Gold Faber Aqua colored pencils, or watercolor pencils, and then I eventually moved over to these distressed crayons by Tim Holtz, or Ranger, and they're kind of like a gel crayon type thing. And so I went directly on the paper with those, and then went over that with water, and I wasn't still liking it quite so much, but it looked better. It made it a little more even, and I feel like I was starting to kind of get how I envisioned it kind of around down here, and I was just taking the color directly from the pencil and going in with the brush, and that did seem to be easier for me to work with. But I mean, for my attempts with watercolor are few and far between, like, you know, far in between the attempts I do with those, so I was pretty pleased with how it turned out. It looked weird without putting anything in the background, so it's just kind of like a nice, fun, colorful background. I went in with like a white Sharpie paint pen to kind of put like almost like snow. They're very hard to tell probably, but like snow flurries kind of going around, because she's dressed for, you know, pretty cold weather. And there were snowflakes, but you probably can just barely make them out, and I didn't go over them. I just kind of left them like they were. Just didn't want to fuss over it. And her original like artwork, there were hearts, so I just drew in a few hearts. And I know I'm talking a lot about this one, but this one was, you know, it was a labor to get this one done. It was a long-standing WIP, and also, you know, 12 o'clock in the last night, or I think it was last night. Oh, it might have been the night before. I decided I'm gonna use watercolor, and so. But yeah, I'm happy that it's finished, and I really love her hair. I had a little bit of trouble with blending out the skin, but I tried to make her kind of look kind of like a rosy face, you know, in like cold weather, and I really liked how her hair turned out. But yeah, super cute, and her eyes were a lot of fun to do. I love doing like real big eyes because you can really get in there with the pencils and make it a little bit more intricate, I guess. And then the little owl was adorable. And I almost didn't see the mouse that's hiding away in the hat there. I forgot about it, but I got it colored. So yeah, another one done with the like from Kristen Karen book. Always so much fun to work on her pages for me. I really like them. And then I got a new book from, and I told myself I would translate it and I didn't, but I think it's like a magical school, like kind of village type thing, world, and I think, I don't know because I don't remember what it was called, but I did purchase this on my trip to Japan. I was so excited because I haven't really been paying attention to any of the new released books, not very closely. I haven't been following them. So when I was in the bookstore there, I found a new Eerie book, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I found that, because it was so cute, and I was just super excited. It was really fun. I did the one in the very back. It was kind of a smaller image, and I really like how it turned out. I was trying to be creative with the grass and stuff, but it's just really basic colors. But I love all the purple and the pinks and the orange of the flowers that are around the little border here. I did struggle a little bit with figuring out what to do with the witch's hat at the top here. I did it like black and purpley blue colors, and then I went in with like a gel pen over this like section here. Hopefully it doesn't look too out of place because it's not really themed with all the flowers, but yeah, it was a fairly quick page. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to work in this more. I think I used Prismacolors, and they worked pretty good on this paper. So yeah, can't wait to do more in this book. I did go over a few things, like extra details with like paint pens and stuff. Just a few touches here and there, not too much going on with it. I don't know why, but I just put dots on these flowers right here. I was just kind of messing around, but it was fun. A little something different. And then just a little bit of a white gel pen around randomly. Kind of like traced the clouds with some a white paint pen. But yeah, I like this one a lot. I really liked how her hair turned out. But yeah, my first one done in the new Eerie book. Wild Magic by Selena Finnick, Witches and Wizards coloring book. This is one that has, I think this is my first finished page in this book. And this one, I did a lot of off and on work with it. I've been working on it for a good few months now. So it's another WIP that I'm really happy to cross off my work in progress list. And I just love it. It was so much fun. I don't color like you know, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Fur, very much like I was saying, so I really challenged myself to color more fur. And I think that the wolf turned out pretty good. And I really like how the clouds look and the kind of castle in the distance turned out. And even the moon, I was really nervous about coloring the moon, and it ended up looking pretty cool. So yeah, it was just a really fun page. I really enjoyed this one. And I did use alcohol markers for like basing his face and his hat, and I did the go over like the castle area and these like hills or rocky mountains here. I went over those a little bit with the alcohol marker and then just shaded over top with colored pencils, and I think it was Prismas. But yeah, this is the Wizard and Wolf page. And yeah, I think it turned out really good. Not too much to say on that one. I really liked going with the green colors for his clothing. I thought the combination turned out really good with like his hair color, so it was nice. Hope it's not too glary. I think it is. That's Wild Magic, and yeah, I think that's my first page in this book, so I've been trying to do a lot more with coloring like books that don't have finished pages in them, and it's been kind of fun. This is I think it's like Antique Town, but again, I didn't translate it because I just forget about it. But it's a Japanese coloring book, and it is super cute. The it's like a squirrel family, and this one also, again, was a long-standing WIP that I finally got finished. I started it back in Halloween, and so I finally got back to it. It's super adorable, and I really liked coloring each of the squirrels. I tried to color them all a little bit different, and but yeah, I think I used a whole bunch of different things. I think anywhere from Prisma, Faber-Castell, Polychromos, and Pablo's. It just was whatever I had at hand, and was just kind of playing around with a bunch of different pencils. And it turned out really good. I'm always a little unsure with coloring like exterior versus the interior, but I went in with like a really dark green on the inside and then a really light green for the outside, and I think it turned out pretty good. But I meant to go in with a white pen to do details for the windows, and I forgot about that. I did end up using just a plain gold Prismacolor to go around the antique sign there. It's just like a matte, well, kind of like the shimmery gold ones, the metallic ones that come in the set. I just like using those sometimes when I'm like feeling a little bit lazy. I just want to make it a gold color, and they work really well for that. But yeah, Halloween page done, even though it was in April. I'm still okay with that, because I had this one very close to being done in October, but I just didn't quite finish it. But I love all the little squirrels. I really liked how I did the I guess it's the mama squirrel, her vest. I love adding like little almost plaid details to clothing sometimes. I think it's like a really sweet, nice little finish there. I think I finished 11 pages this month, so that's really good for me. Next up is Crittersville. Sorry, sounded a little country just then. I always want to say Critters Village. But I haven't colored a page in this, so this is the first one I finished in this one. And I did this page here where he's painting her portrait, and it was just a really fun little relaxing page. I based most of it with alcohol markers. I do wish I would have based the floor also with the alcohol markers, because I feel like it's not as vibrant as some of the page, but then again, I kind of like it. It's not a big deal. It was just, you know, adding some of the French grays from the Prismacolor. I think I did go over everything with Prismacolors, but I thought it was a very adorable page. It's a very adorable book, and so I'm really happy to have a finished page in this one. I tried to kind of incorporate like a little bit of on his like smock here, like some paint, like messy paint, you know, splotches or whatever. I know I'm messy when I paint. I don't think everybody else is, but and I liked coming up with the different fur combinations. Still trying to, you know, get out of my comfort zone and color more fur. And this one's kind of more of a like cartoony feel, so I, you know, just had fun with it. And I think I really like how her dress turned out. I like those colors together, and I thought it was cute. There were smaller pictures of different animals, portraits on the wall back behind here, and I didn't really do too much detail with them, but I thought they were pretty cute. I just used like for the frames around those, I just used a oil-based rose gold paint marker. It's a little shimmery. And also like the curtain rods, I used that. And I just did a alcohol marker base, well, just alcohol marker, and for the sky, and just kind of left it alone. I didn't go over it with any Prisma, and I had fun doing the little houses in the background. But yeah, I really like this one. I think it was a very good one to get done, and I look forward to doing more in this one too, which I know I say a lot, but you know, coloring's always on my mind. Even when I wasn't coloring was on my mind. That one's really cute. I know it's getting to be summer, but they look so cozy. That's Crittersville coloring book, and I don't really know the artist on that one. I do think it kind of tells you somewhere. It's an Amazon printed book. Artist is that person there. Okay, and I did a page in a million sea creatures. Kind of zoom you in a little bit. This is by Lulu Mayo, and this one was also just a nice little fun, quick page. I just thought it was really cute that this walrus was doing some knitting, and the jellyfish were kind of helping him out with holding the yarn and whatnot. And also the crab on top of his head was really cute. I just had fun, just, you know, putting some color on this paper. I really like the one that's kind of peeking up over the, I guess those are the fish, like, it's just, you know, cans that they're hanging out in, but that's okay. I decided to not do too much with the background. I did a little bit of a shadow, like underneath this can, and then I just kind of had fun picking out bright neon colors for the bubbles, and just kind of adding that to them, and then going over it with a white Prisma, because I did use Prisma. I did base some of this. Of course, it didn't bleed through, but I have a few Crayola Super Tip markers, I think. I did base a little bit of it with those, and kind of helped it along a little bit, like the jellyfish. And I'm actually pleased with how it turned out, you know. It was a fun one. I know Mermaid's coming up in this month, you know, May. And I don't usually participate too much in that, but I did actually make an effort to pick out more of like sea, ocean themed things, and then mermaids, of course. And I'm really excited. I'm geared up for it, so I'm hopefully my coloring streak continues. But yeah, I kind of tried to do, I don't know, I would just do like a platy type thing with the scarf, or I don't know, maybe a fin warmer that he's knitting there. It could be anything. It's a million sea creatures. And yes, I did forget Mermaid was coming up, and I did do a mermaid page, but you know, that's okay. I just did one a little bit early. It did end up being very Little Mermaid themed. This was a PDF, and I think Fabiana Trey, maybe, but I can't remember. I bought it off of Etsy, and I do have a video where I'm working on this PDF, and I do mention, I think I do have a link actually for the bundle on her Etsy store if anyone's interested in that. But it was super cute. I did base a lot of elements with alcohol markers, and then I went over with Prismas. I'm really trying to use my alcohol markers. I don't have a huge set of them, but I noticed that they were getting a little bit dried out, so I don't want to waste them, so I've been using those more. And I think that did help me along a little bit this month as far as getting some pages done. But this one is really cool, and I do think that the fish is super scary. I let the cuteness of the mermaid, you know, pull me in versus the scary fish with all the teeth. So I had to color the fish to get the mermaid to be colored, so it all worked out. It was fine. But I think it's super cute, and I used the Distressed Ink Oxide for the sky, and I really like doing that for a quick and easy background. It's just really fun, and it comes out pretty smooth too. I use like a gradient of a few colors and kind of taped it off with some artist tape, or you know, painter's tape. Well, probably not like legit painter's tape, but you know, the masking type tapes. And but yeah, I think it was super adorable, and kind of lost my train of thought. There was something I was going to say about it, but I guess it wasn't important. But I really like doing her eyes. I thought they turned out super cute. And her hair was a lot of fun to color. Oh yeah, I was going to mention that I didn't use, I used a cardstock paper I like to get at Walmart, and it was a giant pack of like different like colors, and I used like a kind of grayish blue color for this one, and I don't know, I have a lot of fun. I will say sometimes not all the colors work out, because I started one with a bright green paper for a mini mania page, and it's not my favorite. I'm not really liking how that one's turning out, so I don't know if I will continue. This is by the same artist, and I printed this one out to work on, and I printed it out on the purple cardstock, but I thought it would be fun to play around with that. It does kind of give it a bit of a different look, and I also go a different way sometimes with the lighting and stuff when I use the different like colored cardstock paper. But anyway, that's this page. She definitely does have the Little Mermaid colors going on, and I tried to make that one, even though it's made me feel a little sad to make that one kind of flounder themed, but I think that's Flounder's colors, or at least close enough. Okay, and then of course I did some Xan Bronzed. I always get confused if it's Zed Von or Xan Von. I don't know why I do that, but I always have to pause to look before I tell y'all. But this is Ladies of Leisure, and This is the first one. I'm a little too far. If ever I'm in a coloring slump, for some reason coloring in her books just really helps me out to kind of get out of that slump a little bit. I used Prismacolor and then maybe alcohol markers. No, I didn't use any alcohol markers. I used the, I think it was Antique Linen and the Distressed Oxide to do the parchment like map that's behind her. And yeah, it was a really fun page. I was kind of, I don't mix it up with the hair very often, do I? She still has brown hair. A lot of the things I colored, I think they had brown hair. It's pretty much my go-to color for hair. And I did her arm here. It was like a gold color. That was fun coming up with that combination. And I really liked the kind of off-white like dress. I probably said before, but one thing that I really love about the Ladies of Leisure books is their clothing and their outfits. Excuse me. They're just so beautifully drawn and so dramatic, and it just really inspires me to color those. And I really like doing her coloring the ladies that she draws because they're just so beautiful. Trying to show, but yeah, see like this dress, it's really pretty, and that, you know, it's really dramatic, and that it's really good too. I just for me can't go wrong with coloring in her books. I really love it, and that's a good thing to do when you aren't feeling coloring maybe for a while, is to jump back in there with something that you really love to color, and I feel like the rest just comes, you know, after that. You just kind of pick up where you left off. But yeah, I was so excited to do also like a pirate themed page. I feel like, you know, I really like coloring pirates, so I should, you know, make an effort to color more. The parrot may look a little sad, but I tried my best to do the parrot justice. And I tried to incorporate like some cool green accents around her, the bodice here to kind of match the parrot. But yeah, super excited to have that one done. And then I did one in Ladies of Leisure. Oh, which one was this one? Okay, this one was 3. I just didn't pay attention to the number 3. This one is the first one. And Xan Bronzed. And I think, yeah, I did this one. This one was so much fun. I loved it so much. I think this is one of my last finished pages I did for the month. And I used, I guess I used nothing but Prisma, I think. But I really had fun. I tried to like make an effort to use like kind of a color scheme sort of in my, you know, and I've been looking on Pinterest some and just not necessarily picking out anything, but just, you know, paying attention to like some of the color schemes that some people do in their artwork. And I think it turned out really great. I really like the background, the darker purpley red color, and I like doing her pink colored hair. And I was a little bit unsure what to do with like the plants here, but I went with like a gold yellow color. I thought that would kind of pop. So, and I had fun doing her skin. I kind of started out with different colors than I normally do. I didn't use that much. Usually I kind of stick with like the peachy colors, and I really didn't use those that much this time when I was doing this page. And it was a lot of fun, kind of changing it up a little bit to get like different, you know, outcome and a different effect. But yeah. And I like how this one was a bit bigger than some of the ones I do. Like that one's kind of smaller. I tend to go for the like smaller ones. It's fun to mix it up a little bit and go with like a larger size portrait, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I ended up using just the tiniest bit of that rose gold oil-based marker for like the little, it's probably hard to tell, but she has like little accents along the clasping along the side of her sleeve there. And I do tend to not go in with eyelashes. It is probably a weird thing, but there were eyelashes originally on this image, but I'm always afraid I'm going to like ruin it, so it's something I need to work on. If the eyelashes kind of lose their integrity along the way, like get colored over, I don't go back in most of the time and touch them up because I just don't trust myself. So I think she looks fine without eyelashes, or very dramatic eyelashes, so that's probably what I'm gonna keep doing. I'm tempted sometimes to go back, but I stopped myself this time because I always get frustrated about it, and that's fine. You don't have to do it, you know. But ladies of leisure, yeah, I'm not used to having this many finished pages to show y'all. Not that I'm like breaking any records, you know, of course, but I mean, I'm really happy because I mean, it's been 0. This is R.J. Hampson Serendipity, and this is like the hardback one. Where did it go? I always can't remember which one I did, if I did the first half or the, there it is. This is the one with the couple foxes. I think I've seen that he did a color along with this page. I had already finished mine, but I can't remember how all he did it, but he did it beautifully. And so yeah, I just tried my best to kind of get this one colored. I wasn't sure kind of what to do, if I should continue like the glowing like green color all the way around, but I decided that I was just gonna keep it simple and just went with, you know, what I ended up doing and just kind of taking that a little bit out, like glowing around, but not all the way. I really like when there are like light effects you can do with but you can do it all the time, but I have a tendency to do that when I see a lantern or a candle, so. But I really liked the foxes, and I really liked kind of coming up with a kind of a mystical realm, I guess, you know, in the distance behind the door, and kind of a different tone to it than what's outside. I don't know, it was just really fun. I liked coming up with the different colors for the birds and coloring the owl. I feel like I colored one more owl this month. But yeah, a super good page. The foxes, you know, were fun to color too. And all in all, really happy with it. I tried to do more of like a brown greenish tone for the stones, and I used Prismacolors. And I think that's it, was my Prismacolor Premieres. And trying to get better with the grass. I got some straggly like grass kind of randomly scattered around the area here. And I think this is my first page done in this book, so I had a lot of uncolored books colored in this month, so which is always really awesome. Serendipity. And one more to go. This is Shooting Star, and this was one of my new books I purchased. I'm trying to not purchase too many books because you really don't need that many books, I know, but I just couldn't resist this one. This is Marie Trollet, and it's Shooting Star. I have a video posted where I kind of take y'all along with coloring as I color this page. I thought it turned out really cute. I really liked how the rabbits turned out. I was a little nervous about them, but I colored a lot of animals this month, so hopefully my weird hang up about coloring animals will kind of quiet down. But I tried to make kind of the sky just like a really soft color, and then kind of like added a little more grass details in there, and I think I used Prismacolors. No, wait, I lie. I used Pablo's. I think is all I used, yeah. Which is also, I don't really tend to use those for a whole page very often, so it was really fun kind of learning how I like to use those and like, you know, looking at all the different colors. I really like going with like a greenish like tint to the ponds that I color. And I thought it was cute that, you know, each page has, I think each page has a star in it, but it's fun kind of finding the star in each of them. And I gave her like tiny little freckles, just like the tiniest amount across her face there. But yeah, that was the last finished page I did. I was very excited to show y'all this month's finished pages. I'm going to be filming, I think probably after I get done with this, I'm going to film my coloring plans for May, and I think there are going to be lots of mermaids in that video. I don't know if, I'm not going to be able to color all of them, I know, but I thought maybe it would help, you know, kind of, I don't know, for me, watching everyone's coloring plans inspires me to think about books that I haven't thought about for a while, and that's why I really like those. But, sorry, I've been talking like really fast for some reason. But yeah, I'm so happy to have a video of finished pages to show y'all and share with y'all. It makes me really happy to be able to do that, because that means I've got some coloring done, and it's always a good month when I can get some coloring done. But I gotta stop crafting so much with other things. But I think right now my heart's kind of, you know, been given back to coloring, as far as finding the time to do that a little bit more. And yeah, but yeah, thank y'all so much, and till the next video. Bye y'all.